Hello everyone and welcome to the final video in a two-part series on Padlet, the educational app that lets the class share their collective ideas onto one screen. If you haven't watched the first part of this series, make sure to go watch it first before returning here, since the last video included how to make a Padlet, while this video will include formatting 6 different types of Padlets promised in the last video. Now without further ado, let's get started with the first type. So the first type that will be discussed today is called a grid template. You want to go to your home page by clicking this button here, then select the grid option here. Once we select the grid option, we will do the same thing as so in the last video. The only difference between the grid and wall template is that the posts in the former fit in a neat and universal row and column position as opposed to fitting like puzzle pieces. Here we can see an example of the wall template, while this is what a grid template might look like. Notice the height of the row is constant and depends on the height of the content in the largest response. A grid template might be better for navigation, as each response is much more noticeable and presented in an equal manner. Creating a post to be displayed as a response in the Padlet is no different than what was discussed in the wall Padlet, by clicking any of these options here. The next type of post in Padlet is called streams. Compared to both wall and grid, streams is very simple. It features one column of posted responses with one response occupying each row. In a sense, it is similar to an Instagram feed where you can scroll and allow new content to pop up. A rather innovative use of this type of Padlet, if shared by the teacher to only one student, is a platform to write journal entries as shown here, where the titles can be fashioned as the date of the entry. A rather important thing to be noted here is that the individual posted responses on the Padlet are indeed editable. This can be done by hovering over the response card and clicking the 3 dots that will show up on the top right side. This gives you the option to change the background color by clicking any of these colors, editing the content in the post and at the bottom here, expanding the post which zooms in on it. The arrows on the top allow you to go to the post directly before and after, and the arrows on either end here allow you to go 2 posts ahead or 2 posts behind respectively. The flag option here is reporting the post for inappropriate content to be taken down and deleted. The transfer post option allows you to move the post to another Padlet of yours, which also means it will not be present in this Padlet since it has been moved. Copy post is the same as transfer, however the original will remain intact and a duplicate will be transferred. The third type of Padlet to be discussed in this video is called shelf. In here, the teacher or owner of the Padlet typically makes columns with titles and captions. In a sense, each column or section as it is called is its own mini Padlet where the responders can post responses relating to the title of the column. For instance, the column title may be a question for the students to respond their answers below the heading as posts. To create a response to the column, click the plus sign below the first post of the column as can be seen here. You can also choose what section or column you want to post your response as shown here. As the maker of the Padlet, you can rename the section title, move it to the left or to the right, and of course delete the section entirely. As the respondee, you can also edit your responses as was the case for the previous types of Padlets. The next type of Padlet is called map, and it is obviously a Padlet with a map of the world where the posted responses are locations pinpointed on the map. When choosing the map Padlet option, we are met with a page similar to this one with the title of the Padlet and description similar to the other types of Padlets. Here you can choose the style of the map, which is basically its theme. Choose the one you think fits most with your content from the usual: silver, black metal, medieval, retro, Tron, night, amusement park, video game, satellite, and watercolor. Click next to save the settings, and now the map is in full screen. Click the plus sign on the top right of the screen to add locations and descriptions to the map by one of 2 options. The first one is simply typing the name of the place or location to add the mark automatically as shown here. The second one is more simple. Drag this pin and the location of the pin on the map will be added as a point. A nice feature is that after dropping the pin, it shows the name of the location as well as its longitudinal and latitudinal coordinates. After adding a location via searching the name, a button will appear with an icon of 3 horizontal lines. When clicked, it will reveal all the locations added as shown here. The button on the right of it zooms in on each posted location that you clicked on last. The last two buttons on the right zoom slightly in and out of the center of the map respectively. Editing a location on the map Padlet is no different from editing the post on any other Padlet type. Simply click the location, then click the three dots on the top right. Here you can also click Change Location to move the description of the post from one location on the map to another. Connecting a post allows you to make a line from one location to another on the Padlet. Simply click Connect Post, choose another location, and the line is formed automatically as shown here. Disconnecting is as simple as selecting either post and clicking Disconnect like so. Bringing to the front and sending to the back brings the post forward or backward relatives to other posts respectively. Transferring and copying and expanding the post are basically the same as it was for the grid Padlet. Open in Google Maps is an option that obviously opens the location of the post as a link in a Google Maps website. After map we have the canvas Padlet. Select the canvas option as like so in the previous types. Out of all the types of Padlets, canvas is the most aesthetic one as you can create posts and connect them in an artistic way. Click the plus sign to add a post as usual, which you can drag around as so. Hovering over the post and clicking the three dots allow you to edit the post, change the background color, and connect it to other posts by selecting it like so. You can also add a description of the connection by adding a label. You can connect one post with multiple other posts. However, you can only connect two posts together with one arrow. Disconnecting is the same as it was for the map Padlet, and so are the other options below shown here. The canvas Padlet is quite useful in linking pieces of information in the form of posts together, and can be fashioned as a sort of mind map or flowchart. Lastly, we have the timeline Padlet, which is exactly what the name implies. Click the plus symbol to make the first Padlet, then for the next post, click the plus sign on either side of the first Padlet to indicate if the post happened before or after the first one. After doing so and have multiple posts, you can drag each post horizontally along the timeline as shown here on screen. When and if you have a large number of posts on the timeline, arrows will appear on either edge of the screen. Clicking them will allow you to navigate to the ends of the timeline as shown here. When hovering over the post and clicking the three dots on the top right, it will provide you with the same settings as with the Padlets before. And those are the 7 types of Padlets on Padlet, in addition to the wall Padlet in the first video. We hope you found a great application for yourself, be it for learning, teaching, or just gathering your own thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please share, like, and check out our other videos on our channel. See you next time!